Allah addresses His Prophet saying, قُلْ هُوَ الَّذِي أَنْشَأَكُمْ وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Okay, say, O Prophet, it is He who brought you into being. أَنْشَأَكُمْ, He brought you into being. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ, and He made for you your hearing, your sight, وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ, and your understanding. Okay, al-afida, fu'ad is like it's like the word for qalb or heart, right? But it's to do with, and it's to do with your emotions as well as your intellect. Yeah, your emotions as well as your intellect. Okay, how you feel, perceive, understand certain things, all your feelings, your perceptions, okay, your intuitions, your observations. Okay, all of this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. He has brought you into being, given you your hearing, okay, your sight, and your understanding. And what does Allah say? قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. So little you give thanks. You give very little thanks for all of that. As Allah says elsewhere, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Very few of my servants are truly grateful. Very few. And this reminds me of one time, the Umar radiallahu anh, he once heard somebody making the prayer to Allah, saying, "Oh Allah, make me amongst the few, make me amongst the few." So Umar said, was interested by this because he never heard such a prayer before. What do you mean, make me amongst the few? Right? And then the person explained to him, look how Allah says, the very few of my servants are grateful. Okay, relatively few are truly of a high standing of belief, okay, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he was saying, make me amongst the few, the elect, the special ones, the elite. Yeah, the elite. And typically, in any field, very few are those who really make it to a very high level. Okay, whether it be in terms of politics and power, or in terms of just generally achievement, or sport, or athlete, whatever it might be. Okay, or really make it to top in terms of wealth, in terms of business. I mean, the whole thing that like 50% of the wealth is owned by kind of less than 1% of the people, etc. These kinds of things, right? Very few. So similarly here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Here, very little do you give thanks. And separately, elsewhere, we are told in the Quran that very few of Allah's servants are truly those who really give thanks. So think about how you thank Allah. And how do you thank Allah? How do you thank Allah for all of these things? How do you thank Him?
Worship.
I don't know that. I find these very easy answers. To worship Him. Well, okay, fine, that's great. What does that mean?
To follow his whatever order He give us in the
Okay.
Quran.
Yes, of course. But now specifically here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about specific blessings. Your blessing of hearing, your blessing of sight, okay, your understanding, your perceptions. Yes?
So use those faculties in a way which would please Allah and to worship Allah. So specifically, like use your hearing and vision to do good.
Yeah, exactly. So specifically here, yes, to worship Him and to obey, as Uncle mentioned. But the point is, specifically, think to yourself. Think about all the things that you hear. You hear lots of things all day, right? Hopefully you don't hear too much at night, right? Okay? But you hear lots of things. To the extent that you can direct what you are listening to, what are you listening to exactly? You see lots of things all day. And hopefully you're not seeing too much things at night, right? But the point is that to the extent that you can control where you are, what you are looking at, well, what are you looking at? Right? You think about a lot of things constantly. Yeah? To the extent that you can control and direct what it is that you spend your time thinking and pondering about, well, what is it exactly that you are thinking and pondering about? So it's very simple for us to say, yes, we worship Allah, we hear, that's how we thank Him. But what I'm saying is get specific. You know, because you don't have a plan. Was it fail to plan? Plan to fail. Yeah? If you fail to plan to fail. And my wife is here, so she will remind me afterwards that I'm the worst planner, and how could I possibly tell everyone, this particular thing. But it's true, at least I know it's true, and we're working on it. But if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. So similarly, plan. You have got to plan. You have literally got to plan out. Yeah, how am I going to spend my time? And a lot of this comes back down to time in the end. So that what am I listening to? What am I looking at? What am I thinking about? Right? Plan your time, especially at a time when there's so many pulls on what things for you to listen to look at, and to think about, and to get worried about, and to occupy your mind. So actually finding, you have there are whole people making a lot of money, out there, self-help coaches and whatnot, helping people to find, show them how to find their moment of peace and rest and mindfulness and blah blah blah, and all of them through meditation and this and that, whatever. Because people are just stressed out. Like if Allah is not in your life, you will almost necessarily be on a higher level of difficulty and stress if you're not living for anything beyond the immediate and the material. Yeah, because the dunya is constantly such that it's just constantly running just ahead of you. Yeah, so you feel you've got to keep running just to catch it. And as soon as you got there, it's moved on. Right? It's just moved on.